Hi, I'm India Yarbrough.
And I'm Anna Knapp. Phi Kappa Psi fraternity is set to appeal today after being suspended for 2 years. The fraternity was suspended in early November. Investigation after a third-party report. Phi Psi submitted an appeal on November 28th. Loyola's University Board of Appeals will review the case and make a decision today.
Loyola has received its largest donation ever. Longtime Loyola community member Maydell Hoover-Bro left a $10 million scholarship to benefit undergraduate and law students in financial need. Following her death in March, the Murphy-Bro Endowed Scholarship Fund was her final gift to Loyola. She worked as an administrative assistant to the Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences from 1948 until her retirement in 1980. Loyola will honor Bro at the annual 1912 Society dinner on Thursday. It will be at the Roosevelt Hotel from 6 to 9:30 p.m. Tickets can be purchased at loyno.edu.
Loyola is adding more to the plate for students interested in food.
Loyola News Service reporter Tia Teamer is joining us live from our newsroom with more on the new Food Studies program. Hey, Tia.
Hi, Anna and India. I spoke with the new Director of Food Program Studies, Daniel Mintz, about the new minor. New Orleans is known for two things: streetcars and food. Loyola is bringing a new taste to the curriculum. Students can now minor in food studies. Mass communication major Janae Torrance is taking a food studies elective next semester and may have switched some things around if there had been a food studies minor when she got here.
So then when I saw there was a new food studies minor, I was like, wow, that's super interesting. That's exactly what I'm interested in. I wish it was there when I was a freshman. Maybe I would have minored in it.
Food studies minors can begin taking classes next semester. The food studies minor is only 18 credit hours and does not require a capstone. This major was created last year with just 3 students. Daniel Mintz, Food Studies Program Director, looks forward to the new minor.
When students leave the program, we want them to be able to make a difference and to feel able to enter into conversations with professionals who are working in the food field or in food fields with a really strong base of knowledge and experience.
As a minor, students who are interested in food can have a different major and still specialize in the food industry.
As a public relations major, I think it would have been great if I could have minored in food studies and then go on to work maybe as in-house public relations specialist for a food company like Kraft or Nestle.
To learn more about the new food studies minor, contact foodstudies@loyno.edu. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Tia. Last weekend, the Food Studies program partnered up with the University Honors Program to host an exhibit on hunger. This is Hunger is a mobile interactive exhibit that takes place on an 18-wheeler. Loyola was one of the stops on their 60-city tour. The 45-minute show uses light projection, personal anecdotes, and statistics to illustrate the invisible issue of food insecurity. If you missed the bus on campus, you can learn more about it at thisishunger.com.
It's not just change on campus that's getting attention. There's also some change to the neighborhood that has a few locals upset. Reporter Mairead Cahill has a story about the street that's near and dear to Loyola students' hearts.
Starbucks has announced they will be opening a new location down the road from Loyola on Jefferson and Frette later this year, marking yet another change to the Frette neighborhood.
Frette Street has changed a lot in recent years, but not everyone is happy that a lot of the local shops have moved out and big chains have moved in.
Longtime resident Monwell Fraser took us for a walk down the street he grew up on.
It's changed a lot. Some would say for the better, but I don't know, a lot of the culture of it's really different for me.
Earlier this month, Frette Street Po' Boys and Donut Shop shut its doors for good. Another empty local store on the sidewalk. Now, with the Starbucks news, residents fear the local nature of Frette is changing.
Frette's changed so much so quickly in the last 3 years that most of the local businesses that I grew up going to are completely gone.
Fret Hardware and Paint has been on the street for decades, but shop workers there feel the changes have been good for the society.
More integration happening, more, like I said, it's more friendly now. You're not scared to walk up the street, so it's changed for the better.
Businesses are happy that new companies bring new trade, but residents are worried the character of Fret will be changed forever.
It's just like the picture of gentrification, like confirming that this neighborhood is young enough, white enough, and affluent enough to have a Starbucks coffee right there. Just kind of really puts the cherry on top of the gentrification sundae as to how much Fret's changed and kind of died off as a local thing.
So while locals mourn for the Fret Street they grew up with, changes are coming to the street whether residents like it or not. For Loyola News Service, I'm Mairead Cahill.
The new Starbucks is set to open early next year.
Coming up, festival season in New Orleans sold good food for good causes. See which festivals got involved.
And later, those festivals had great weather, but will that continue this week? Find out after the break.
I have pre-diabetes.
Pre-diabetes? I don't have time to eat right or exercise. I'm a busy mom.
Oh, you're a busy mom.
Yeah.
This is great news. Busy moms never get pre-diabetes.
Wait, what?
Let me just... Yeah, this is all the people at risk for pre-diabetes, and way over here, busy moms. No?
It's festival season in New Orleans, and last weekend, Beignet Fest sold some of those classic New Orleans treats for charity. The festival was co-founded by Loyola alum Amy Collins and her husband Sherwood. The couple started the festival as part of their charity, the Tredo Foundation, to help raise awareness for their children with autism. Beignet Fest had its second gathering at City Park this year. Food vendors served creative versions of the treat, from seafood beignets to vegan and gluten-free beignets, for a good cause.
Hundreds of people gathered at Louis Armstrong Park for the first ever Mac and Cheese Fest. Different kinds of mac and cheese were sold by 13 New Orleans restaurants. The festival included musical performances from Grayson Capps, George Porter Jr. and Run & Partners, and John Papa Gross. Proceeds from the festival went to charities for illiteracy and learning disabilities.
And Po' Boy Fest may have gotten rescheduled because of bad weather, but that didn't stop thousands of people from coming to Oak Street for a bite of that famous New Orleans sandwich. Over 40 vendors sold their versions of the Po' Boy, but for the first time, festival goers had to buy $5 wristbands in order to get a taste of one of them. This year, Po' Boy Fest partnered with the nonprofit organization Son of a Saint. The festival sold the wristbands to raise money for the organization, which supports boys without fathers.
Wow, those look like some great causes and great weather. Let's go to Nick Ryman to see if that will continue this week. Hey, Nick.
Well, it will, India, if you're interested in cold weather, because let me tell you, it's going to be a cold week ahead. The temperatures right now don't show it, but things are about to change, and I don't know if you've heard, but there's snow even in the forecast. Well, sort of, at least if you're going to be in front of the Horseshoe here at Loyola, where we're going to have our annual snow event on Wednesday night. And if you're lining up for a t-shirt, I'll tell you what the forecast is going to be. Not what we're seeing right now. Look at it right now. Kenner, 72. Lakefront, 78. Down at Homa, 68. The cold spot on the board, Macomb at 60. But even that for this time of year, way, way too warm. Well above our average for this time of year of what we're normally seeing. It does not feel like the holidays right now. But like I said, that's about to change. And let me show you where it's at. As we look forward to National, we can see we got this pocket of warm air, really muggy stuff over here. Brownsville, 78. Houston, 73. New Orleans, 72 over Louisiana and Texas. Really, really warm for this time of year. But check that out. Denver, 33. And look at those pinks and purples into Wyoming and Montana and into the Great Plains. Those are teens, 20s, even single-digit temperatures. Really, really cold stuff. And that old man winter up there, he is about to come a-tumbling down straight to New Orleans, right along the Gulf Coast. It is going to be cold, feeling like Christmas time for the remainder of this week. But not tonight. As we look at tonight's forecast, 60s on both sides of the lake, way, way warmer than the average for this time of year. Look at this, possibly 68 in the South Shore, especially in the city. Check out that average, 49. Average low of 49, we're going to be almost 20 degrees above average. And with cooler waters, because of cooler temperatures earlier in the month, you know what that creates? Fog. So potential for fog. If you're a commuter, watch out for that. It is going to be a real foggy one, especially if you're traveling across the lake, across the causeway. Closer you are to the lake, closer you are to the water, fog could get a little messy. So as we look forward to the remainder of this week, as we can see early on, we're going to be in the 70s early this week, but then the bottom just drops out. Look at Wednesday, high of 54, 53 on Thursday, 30s on the North Shore, 40s on the South Shore. Rainy, really raw stuff. If you're in line for one of those T-shirts on Wednesday, you better hope they have a couple of sweaters ready, and that's going to continue into the remainder of this week, possibly freezing temperatures on the North Shore by this weekend. Back to you.
Thanks, Nick. Coming up, the Loyola's men's and women's basketball teams traveled to Mississippi to play Blue Mountain College. Find out the results.
And later, the rugby team is having a strong season. See how they've been able to keep up their winning streak. That's all coming up in sports after the break.
Bye-bye.
Hi. Hoping for a crisp breeze to help keep you alert. Oh, he took a sip of water too. That'll probably help. You were probably gonna turn down the radio too, so you could focus, right?
Probably okay isn't okay.
Right.
If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
I think the water line is what really drove it home. I blew on him.
The Pelicans played without Anthony Davis this week. Sports anchor Brian Wallitz has more on how DeMarcus Cousins led the team to win. Hey, Brian.
Hey, Anna. It was an exciting weekend of sports in the Crescent City. The Saints grabbed a 31-21 win over their NFC South rival, the Carolina Panthers, in the Dome on Sunday. The two-headed monster of Mark Ingram and rookie sensation Alvin Kamara combined for 145 yards and 3 touchdowns on the ground against the 6th-ranked Carolina defense. With the win, the Saints moved to 9-3 on the season and sit atop the NFC South division standings. The Saints will travel to Atlanta to take on Matt Ryan and the Falcons this Thursday. On Saturday, the Pelicans played without Anthony Davis, but DeMarcus Cousins stepped up to help the Pels beat the Trailblazers 123-116. Cousins finished the game with 38 points and 8 rebounds. The Pelicans also got some great news today about Davis, who left Friday night's game against the Jazz in a wheelchair. Davis's MRI results on his pelvis came back negative, and Davis is listed as day-to-day. We'll monitor his injury in the upcoming days. In Loyola news, the men's and women's basketball teams traveled to Mississippi and swept Blue Mountain College. Senior point guard Zoe Miller led the Wolfpack with 26 points in the 67-59 win. The men, however, escaped with a 61-60 win with the help of senior guard Nick Parker's game-winning shot with 3 seconds left. The men moved to 5-3 on the season, and the women are now 7-3, with both teams 2-0 in conference play. Now let's bring it over to sports reporter Sean Brennan, who traveled with the Wolfpack rugby team to Spring Hill College for their playoff matchup.
1, 2, 3, Wolfpack!
Loyola kicked off the Deep South Rugby Conference playoffs with hard hits, close calls, and a late 26-19 victory in Alabama.
It really took a couple minutes to adjust, get back into the game flow, but I think we picked it up, and we made some big plays. And it was a good hard-fought win. I'm glad we came out with the W.
Even with the loud crowd for Spring Hill's Parents' Weekend, Loyola FRC came back with key offensive plays after going down early in the game.
For me is, even when they came back and we were down and their crowd was cheering and trying to get in our heads, we stayed in. We played hard all the way through, even when we were tired, and I think I'm just really proud of our guys for finishing the game out.
We kind of let the other team feel like they were back in it, but all in all, it was a good win for the guys.
But we just got to get back to practice on Monday night, and I'm looking forward to getting back after it.
Back at Loyola, the Wolfpack bandages their wounds and prepares for their next challenge. The Wolfpack heads back to the field tonight for practice as they bandage their wounds and stretch out for this weekend's game against LSU Alexandria in Baton Rouge. Reporting for Loyola Student Media Services, I'm Sean Brennan.
The rugby team is now 4-2. The next game is scheduled for January. That's all for sports, and back to you guys.
Coming up, 5 kittens were found under Beaver Hall 2 weeks ago.
See what they look like now and how you can help them find a new home, coming up after the break.
2 weeks ago, 5 kittens were found without their mother under Beaver Hall. I sat down with the person who rescued the kittens to find out more about their recovery. Graduating senior Amanda Giordano was walking past Beaver Hall a couple weeks ago when she noticed 3 stray kittens near LUPD.
I'm a volunteer with Animal Rescue New Orleans. I spend my weekends helping out with them as much as I can, and so I knew that I couldn't just leave them there.
Giordano contacted the director of Animal Rescue New Orleans and arranged for the nonprofit to take the kittens.
They're currently in a foster home. They need to be socialized and everything, so if you're looking to either foster or adopt these guys, we're looking for homes for them.
Giordano works closely with animals through her various roles with Arno, and she hopes to find homes for the kittens as soon as possible.
You can go and apply on animalrescueneworleans.com. We have an application form on there.
She says potential cat owners can also email adopt@animalrescueneworleans.org for more information.
So is anyone going to adopt some kittens now?
Well, I don't know. I think I'd have to get my house kitten-proof first. I don't know if my furniture's ready or my roommates. I'll leave one under the tree with a bow on it for Brian, though. So.
Yeah, those kittens could pull down a whole tree.
I'll tell you what, those kittens are just so cute.
Yeah, I'm more of a dog person, but like Brian said, after seeing those kittens, I don't know, maybe switching sides.
And that's all we have for today. Thanks for watching.